Saving images for web use and for sharing on social media is incredibly important because you have to make sure that the correct color profile is selected so that the images display correctly, but also that all of your copyright information is still intact and that the image is optimized so that it loads quickly or can be emailed quickly. So there's a much easier way of doing it than using image size and save as, and that's save for web. So it used to be an option within the main file menu, but for some reason Adobe removed it. So the only way to access save for web is by using the shortcut. And that shortcut is Control or Command if you're on a Mac, Shift, Alt and S. And that opens up the save for web dialog. And I've used a TIFF with lots of layers intact just so that I can show you how save for web can work with any image. So for web use, you will want to be saving your image as a JPEG, and we're just going to make sure that progressive is checked because this is much more compatible than the optimized version. Then the next thing that we need to do is make sure that embed color profile is selected. And the reason for that is that if you don't check it, even if you convert to sRGB, which is a checkbox just below as you'll see there, you can get some color shifts and the image can look quite muddy. So it's always best to make sure that that's checked. And then because this is an Adobe 1998 image, I'm going to hit convert to sRGB. And then what we can do now is just change the image size to the desired output size, and this isn't going to have any effect on the original image whatsoever. So for most web use, an image of about 1000 pixels on the long edge is ideal. Once that's input there, it just takes a moment for the image to resize in the window here. And then once the image has resized, we're seeing it here at 100%, and you can zoom around and check how it's looking. So the next thing that we need to do is change the quality, and this changes the overall size of the image and increases the JPEG compression. So here we have the current size of the image, which is 578.4 kilobytes. And then as I drag this slider over to the left, you'll see that the size dramatically decreases. So for an image that's about 1000 pixels on the long edge, you can actually go down to quality of about 40 or 50. And you'll see there that we're getting an absolutely tiny image. It's just 92.19 kilobytes. So that's going to load up really quickly, and we still have really good image quality. And then the final thing that we need to do before we save the image is to make sure that we have maintained the metadata. So ideally you would have already input all of your copyright information. So next to metadata, we have none. It just shows the copyright information, copyright and contact info, all except camera info, and all. So you can choose whichever one works best for you. I'm going to go for all except camera info. It doesn't really matter if the camera info is in there, but I just wanted to choose an option that you could see. And then all that we need to do now is hit the save button, and then we can choose where the image is saved. So the last save destination that I used was pictures, which I'm going to use now, but you can choose anywhere else on your computer. It could be the desktop or another folder. Then all that we need to do now is name the image. So I'm going to give it a name that refers to what's going on in the image. So I'm going to start with macro, frost, burn, and then my name and photography. So you can put any title in that you want here, but I'm just putting in some keywords and my name just in case it was used on my website or something like that, so it helps with the search engine optimization. Then all that you need to do is hit save, and then we have our saved web ready image. So I've just opened that image up into Photoshop, and you'll see here that it looks really good. The quality is really high, even though the size is absolutely tiny. So there is the original full-size image, and then if I just click to the next one, you'll see there's not a huge difference in the overall quality. And that's why it's so important to optimize your images correctly so that they load quickly and can be shared really, really easily.